And what is going on, everybody? So welcome to another brand new episode of the Sports Talk Podcast with your hosts, Robert and Tyler. So what's going on, Tyler?
Nothing much, just chilling out and just having fun.
Yeah. So obviously, we got some good ones for you guys tonight. So obviously the first one to kind of start off with the Rock and the XFL with the partnership with the NFL. Now I want to get your thoughts on that.
I think it's a smart move business wise because a lot of your startup leagues fail after like 3 months. The first iteration of the XFL had a championship game back in the early 2000s. Flopped after that, didn't get a second season. They came back in 2020. COVID struck, and then they were done. The AAF failed after like 5 weeks. Spring League kind of morphed over into the USFL, so they're not technically dead. They're just, morphed into the USFL that was revived. Which that begs the question, is that going to do well? But back to the XFL, working with the NFL. Using the XFL as a minor league system, like a G League system for the league itself is smart.
That's a very smart idea.
Very smart, because think about it this way. You can have guys who were drafted into this league.
And you got the XFL.
They could also enter the NFL. I mean, they'll enter the NFL draft, but then they'll immediately go to the XFL.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like and plus think of this too. Like, just imagine the amount of money that they can bring in for both of the leagues at the same time. That's a lot. That's a big money grabber.
It's a huge money grabber, and for The Rock to actually get that deal done,
that's
very freaking smart for a first time owner of a football league.
But yeah, I mean, it's crazy to really think about. Say, The Rock owning the XFL and now partnering with probably one of the biggest professional sports leagues in the United States in the NFL. Yeah. It's just, that's crazy. That's interesting.
It's nuts because you didn't think it would be possible. Like,
you thought it would just be like a pipe dream.
It'd be a pipe dream. Like, when freaking Vince McMahon sold XFL in 2020, we were thinking, wouldn't it be funny if The Rock buys it? Didn't even think it was going to happen.
And then news came out that he cut
and comes out like a year later that he bought it. I'm like, what the fuck? We were joking. What the hell?
Oh my goodness.
And then after that, the whole deal with the NFL came about. And I'm like, this dude's a smart businessman. This man knows what he's doing.
And the fact that the amount of money that he made throughout his entire wrestling career and then, invested it wisely. And plus a lot of the Hollywood movies that he's made over the years too. It's just like also helped as well. So it's like, but then again, I think his love of football, in my eyes, I think it's going to really help the XFL succeed, especially with this partnership.
That's what I feel like him buying the XFL was him loving football, that game was a driving force to him buying the XFL because he wanted to be a part of a league. He wanted to do something for a league. Like, his original dream was not being a wrestler. It was not being an actor. It was being an NFL star. And that fell through.
But we also remember him, for as a wrestler. I mean, and the fact that him and his ex-wife, who are probably still best friends to this very day, is crazy really to see.
Because these relationships that end in divorce and shit, you don't have them like ending on good terms half the time.
Yeah, most of them are toxic.
Half of them are toxic messes, and it's just like seeing those two divorce yet still become like best friends after
it's really unique.
It is.
But yeah, shit.
But those two were joint owners of the XFL, and
jeez. But yeah, and that's another thing with the XFL. Is it's like it can also help practice squad guys get some work in. At least get them chance to play.
Yeah,
No,
because a lot of your practice squad guys are getting paid pennies on the dollar just to practice,
pretty much.
and essentially they're just there to practice with the team.
It just and that's all it is.
They're not even allowed to ride the bench. They're just
That's
allowed
bad.
to practice. They're not allowed to go to the stadium. You can practice with the team, but you got to go right home, watch the game on TV. Because
But
the bench is reserved for backups and starters. That's it.
And sometimes third stringers.
Sometimes third stringers.
But yeah, I mean, just I think when the news came out about that, I thought, it's like, are you serious?
I was thinking like, did he? I'm like, he came out with this on Instagram in a video, personally saying that he was partnering with the NFL. And when he said that in that video, my jaw just dropped.
It's like, boy, that's going to be a lot.
I'm like, no fucking way. You're a first time owner and you managed to etch a deal to partner up with the NFL.
That's what?
That's nuts.
Oh yeah, man. But yeah, man. I really hope that if that partnership does well, oh boy, I think the XFL and the NFL got something going for years to come.
They do. They definitely got something brewing, and I'm excited to see it.
And the next kind of topic I want to go over is the NFL past NFL award winners, and I guess I'll bring them up on screen as we see it. So obviously we got Pepsi Rookie of the Year. Winner goes to Ja'Marr Chase. Honestly, I'm not surprised.
Deserves it by far.
AP Defensive Player of the Year, TJ Watt.
Again, deserves it.
Pretty much the fact that he tied Michael Strahan's all-time sack record in a single season is very impressive. And then
Best moment of the year.
Baltimore Ravens kicker Justin Tucker 66-yard field goal.
I don't know, man. Like there's a lot of good. That's a questionable one because there's a lot of great moments this season alone. That's one of them, but there's a lot of candidates for that award. But Justin Tucker won, so congrats to him.
AP Offensive Rookie of the Year and that goes to Ja'Marr Chase.
Again, deserves it.
Absolutely.
Again, he deserves that.
The kind of season that he had is unbelievable. Offensive Player of the Year, Cooper Kupp. I am not surprised because for a guy like Cooper Kupp to be a 0-star recruit, be a player at Eastern Washington, and be the kind of wide receiver that he is with the Los Angeles Rams, a Triple Crown winner, being probably one of the premier wide receivers, along with Jerry Rice, and I forgot who also won the Triple Crown in the NFL, but he's like one of 3 wide receivers to win the Triple Crown, which is very rare.
And I'm going to say this. He started and I said this for weeks, ever since the Super Bowl had ended, or before the Super Bowl. He started from the goddamn bottom and worked his way up to the top. And he has won.
That's just impressive.
He has done his due diligence to work up to where he is now, and he deserved it.
Oh, absolutely. What's going on? What's good, Valix? So we got AP Defensive Rookie of the Year presented by Old Spice, Dallas Cowboys linebacker Michael Parsons.
Michael Parsons is not bad. Like at all. Like he's one of the ones that I don't think is fraudulent. Like
Trayvon Diggs.
Cornerback, Trayvon Diggs. But Michael Parsons, I liked him. He's a good linebacker.
The fact that he can use him as a pass rush too, that's even scary.
Like he's a good I know people state the Dallas Cowboys for being an Eagles fan. Case in point, the poster behind me. But Michael Parsons is not bad.
No. And the fact that they traded down with us for just trade spots that makes it even more sweet.
Yes.
But I mean, congrats to Michael Parsons of the kind of season that he had.
Yeah, he had a baller season this year, and it's awesome.
Yeah. So we got the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2022. You got Tony Boselli, Leroy Butler, Sam Mills, Richard Seymour, Bryant Young, Cliff Branch, Art McNally, and Eagles legendary coach Dick Vermeil.
It took Dick Vermeil to win a championship, and it wasn't for us in 1999 for him to get to the Hall, but he deserved it, honestly.
And you can make an argument for Cliff Branch too for the Raiders.
Yeah, for sure. But Dick Vermeil, he has solidified his legendary status over time. Since that 1980 season, he's been really freaking awesome.
Oh, absolutely.
And he deserves all the accolades he could get. Great mind when it comes to football. And to the rest of the Hall of Fame class, they deserved it too. Because there are some great names on that list.
Bryant Young, I know that's probably one of the 49ers legends, if I'm not mistaken.
Who?
Bryant Young.
Yeah, he is.
But still, man. And for those who don't know about Dick Vermeil, I mean, his name can be attested to probably one of the greatest football movies of all time, The Invincible.
Literally the only Disney movie that matters to me. Because it has the Eagles in it.
And the fact that it actually did happen back in the 80s, though, which is really crazy to really think about. You know the story of Vince Papale and all this stuff. Also, huge congratulations to his son making to the USFL.
Yeah, hopefully he's just as shocked. He shocks the world just like his dad did, and balls out.
So we now move on to the Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award. New England Patriots special teamer Matthew Slater.
Listen, I've watched a lot of stuff from him being up in the New England area. Honestly, he's not a bad dude. He is a good dude, and he deserves that award for being. I don't know
much about him.
I've seen a few games with him in it, and I've seen a few stories on the news about him, and he's not a bad dude at all. Like, as a person, as a player, he's not bad. So he deserves that award. Next, we have the AP Comeback Player of the Year.
Joe Burrow.
Oh,
that was tough, though, because it's like it came down to the wire between him and Dak Prescott, if I'm not mistaken.
I feel like Joe Burrow edged him.
Yeah.
Because of making a Super Bowl.
And plus,
I feel like if Dak Prescott would have made a Super Bowl this year, he would have gotten that award big time. But Joe Burrow came back from an ACL injury?
Yeah, just a nasty one at that.
Yeah, it was horrific. To come back, lead a team that had missed the playoffs last year to a division-winning title
for the first
time in like 5 years.
Yeah.
Lead his team to a playoff win for the first time since the 80s.
And the first time making a Super Bowl since 1989.
Yep. All this
as a 23-year-old.
Hold on. All this as a 23-year-old, and the fact that he had no offensive line again this year.
That's just crazy.
I didn't even know how they got to 11-5 with that piss poor offensive line the way they did.
That's just crazy.
The guy knew how to get out of the pocket when the pressure got there. He knew how to throw the ball when the pressure got there. He's very accurate. And also in the playoffs, when a play goes bad, he doesn't panic. He stays calm, collected. He's poised. He's set for this league.
Oh, absolutely.
So
and the fact that he still translated from what he did at LSU into the NFL, and especially for the first 2 years, is really incredible.
It is. This Cincinnati Bengals fans, Bengals organization, you got yourself a star. Don't mess this up. Give him an offensive line and watch that guy work.
Oh boy! Oh, absolutely.
This man's a dog.
Oh yeah. The fact that and not to mention too, like even though he's mobile like the rest of some of these quarterbacks nowadays, but he's just a hard guy to tackle at times.
Yeah, That's if like the line doesn't get there like really quick. There's a few times where he has to run backwards and they get to him anyway.
Oh yeah.
Like that last play of the Super Bowl, that was a game clinching sack that costed him the game. Other than that, he can run. He's elusive. He can make throws when he has to. He can throw it away when he has to.
Mm-hmm.
He does a lot. He does a lot right when it comes to playing quarterback.
Oh, absolutely. So we got AP Assistant Coach of the Year, and that's the defensive coordinator Dan Quinn.
Bullshit. Absolute.
Yeah. That's
bullshit.
I'm calling that's very questionable.
It's bullshit. It's total bullshit. What the fuck does this guy do defensively? At all. Wow. Like literally the only players that he had that were worth a damn was Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons, Randy Gregory, DeMarcus Lawrence.
No, I'm not naming all the players.
Well, just name.
I'm naming one that's worth a damn, and that's just Micah Parsons. The rest of the team is just dog shit on the defensive side of the ball. And yes, I'm going to call freaking that fraud.
Oh boy.
I'm calling Trayvon Diggs, that fraud, a goddamn bum because he allowed 1,000 yards this season, and half of the sacks that he got were assisted sacks.
Which is...
Well, not sacks, assisted interceptions. All the interceptions he got, half of them were assisted. So he ain't that good.
Oh yeah,
and and defensive coach, the defensive coordinator is supposed to make the guys better, and he didn't. The scheme sucked. Everyone else sucked, and look what happened. They got bounced in the first round.
So we got the Salute to Service Award to winner Denver Broncos fullback / tight end Andrew Beck.
Yeah, he's done a lot for the military, which is awesome. He deserves that award.
Oh, absolutely.
Unstoppable performance of the year. Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow versus Chiefs.
He's in week 17.
Man, let me tell you something. Joe Burrow is becoming the Chiefs' thorn on their side.
Oh, definitely.
At least fuck him quickly. They are 0-2 against this dude this season. 0-2. One in week 17, one in the divisional round of the playoffs.
Oh boy.
And it's just fucking
just crazy.
Crazy that this dude is performing this well at this rate as a second-year player.
Yeah. We got the Deacon Joe Sack Leader Award. TJ, that's no surprise because he led the league in sacks.
Yeah, look, JJ Watt, his brother must have taught him some shit because he was getting sacks all fucking day.
Dude, he was insane. And the fact he tied Michael Strahan's, like I said before, his single season record at 22 and a half sacks is what? Like nowadays, it's like it's hard to get that many sacks though, which is crazy.
That's ever since Michael Strahan set that record, nobody has hit that number. Nobody.
No problem. But the fact that
he hit that number the first championship season for fucking New York.
Yep.
And that was like way back in like what, 2007?
I think 2007. I think the last time he played.
So for over 10 years, that number has not been broken. That record has not been broken. And for TJ Watt to finally break that 10 plus years later
is that
dude's a dog.
And I think this is why him and JJ Watt.
Capital DAWG, bro.
Dude. But shit, yeah. So we got the players of the year, Tom Brady and Jonathan Taylor. I'm very surprised.
Honestly, no, because Jonathan Taylor was basically the main reason the Colts were winning late in the season. It wasn't Carson Wentz, it wasn't the receivers, and it wasn't. I mean, slightly the defense, but it was more so Jonathan Taylor put that team on his back.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as Tom Brady goes, Tom Brady did Tom Brady shit all year. That wasn't that was not expected. Everybody expected Tom Brady to do Tom Brady shit.
So we got Bud Light Celly of the Year, Miami Dolphins defensive lineman Christian Wilkinson's the Worm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was an entertaining celebration.
Now here is something I'm going to call some bullshit on. Mike Vrabel winning the Coach of the Year.
Should have been that Zach guy from fucking Cincinnati.
And Zach Taylor. I'm sorry,
Should
but
have
there's
been Zach Taylor. Like Mike Vrabel, he's not a bad coach, but he's just okay. He hasn't given the team a win in the playoffs yet.
That's just.
Well,
That's
he has this year, but that was just one.
Yeah.
And he has not coached them to a goddamn Super Bowl. You know who did? Zach Taylor did.
Yeah.
In his second freaking year, bro.
Technically, this is
third year.
Yeah, third year, because this is Joe Burrow's second year in the league.
His third freaking year, he got them to a Super Bowl.
And just that's some bullshit.
It is.
I'm sorry. Daily Fantasy Player of the Year, Cooper Kupp.
I don't play fantasy at all anymore. I suck at it. So I don't know how many points this dude gives players.
I have no idea either.
But if it was awesome, then he deserves it. But I don't know.
Fan of the Year, Atlanta Falcons fan Harry Ison.
Hey, if he goes to every game, man.
Yeah.
What
now,
can I tell you?
I'm going to call this into question. The MVP goes to Aaron Rodgers for the fourth straight year.
I don't know. No.
That's
no. You want to know why? Because this dude choked in the playoffs yet again. I think that MVP should have went to Matthew Stafford.
As I would either come down to Matthew Stafford or Jonathan Taylor.
It should have been Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, I was going to go Matthew Stafford because I think just the way how Matthew Stafford just turned his career around, though.
Yeah, but the thing is, it wasn't him that needed to turn his career around. It was literally him being on a toxic team for that many years. His career was fine. He was putting up great numbers. His team just sucked.
That's for sure.
And the Walter Payton Man of the Year award went to Andrew Whitworth. And let me tell you something.
There was a lot of good candidates for that award this year.
The man has kids. The man has a family. That man has done a lot for the community in LA.
For a guy,
he deserves every bit of that damn award.
And the fact that Russell Wilson, I think, kind of said a lot of good things about that too. It's just like who was the winner last year, which is, and it's just great. Congrats to those award winners. Some were questionable, but yeah, kind of move on from that.
Next, I want to talk about the James Harden trade.
Ooh.
Here's my take on it.
Shoot.
After last night's game, there is one theme that I have seen throughout that game, and that's spacing.
That was just incredible spacing.
They were able to space the floor so much better than they did for the last few years.
And it's just honestly. And the fact
because with Ben and with everybody else,
it was clunky.
Everyone's running every which way. Simmons wanting to do his job. Everybody else was trying to do their job, but Simmons was holding them back, and it was all Simmons basically.
Pretty much.
And Simmons goes. Hold on, let me fix. Simmons goes. We get James Harden. We're seeing James Harden move around on the court, trying to find an open spot to shoot. And every time he gets open looks. And he's gotten points out of it. He got like 31 points out of that.
Yeah, 20. He dropped 20. He had 27, 12 boards, and 5 assists.
Okay, 27. All right. But he was scoring at will a lot. And he has scored one more bucket than Ben has in his entire career.
Yeah, he was 5 of 7 from 3.
5 of 7 from 3. Ben Simmons would have hit 1.
God, it was all in one game and if you look at it too, like James Harden looked like he was actually having fun for the first time in his career.
James Harden was doing shit that James Harden didn't do in Houston, didn't do in Brooklyn. He was doing stuff that he did in OKC.
Oh yeah, that's going
Kevin
back.
Durant and Russell Westbrook.
That super team?
Comfortable. He was that comfortable.
Oh man, the step back 3. Still good.
He was hitting step back 3s. He was running, trying to get to open looks. He got open looks all night last night.
Oh, definitely.
And now with this, Joel Embiid doesn't have to worry about shooting 3s anymore, jacking them up, jacking up. I mean, he still occasionally jacks up a mid-range shot, which is fine. He can hit those.
Oh yeah,
but he's doing big man stuff now. He's doing like what he should have done when he was drafted.
Yeah, all in that bully ball in the paint.
Playing bully ball in the paint, getting those easy 2s, and just leaving the 3s to the other players who can shoot. And he's got shooters around him now.
And think about this way,
guys who can do that, and he's also got a great veteran in Harden.
And then if you looked at it too, Tyrese Maxey almost with Harden last night dropped 28 points.
Yeah, and Tyrese Maxey is basically a better version of Ben Simmons.
Way better.
Fucking better version of Ben Simmons.
And the fact
this is what the team should have been. This is what the team should have been in year 3 of Simmons era.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't. So now this team is improved a hell of a lot after the trade.
Well, he just got to
game, but look at the team they played. No slouches.
Yeah, Minnesota
damn near blew them the fuck out.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And think about this too. And we lost to them in overtime by a point on our home floor at the time.
Last year?
No, this year.
Yeah, we had lost to them early this year. Freaking Harden comes in and we're blowing them the hell out.
And the fact that, and it's just like crazy too, is like Harden, like, and it's like if you looked at how Harden was playing, even though this was his debut, it looked like Harden of old, like in his prime, like when it was.
I'm telling you, he looked like OKC Harden. That's how good he looked.
Shit. And it's just
and that Harden wasn't even around since like 2012. Okay, like that was the last time he was in OKC. 2012.
Yeah. God, 10 fucking years. God damn.
10 fucking years ago. He's looking what he did 10 fucking years ago. That's how good he is.
And the 3-point shot still looks good. I mean, that
man jacks him up, and I'm like, okay, it's going in.
Like, you know that it's going in, especially from Hart. And the fact, and if you looked at some of his passes too, like the freaking one right up the middle in the paint to MB for a nice two-handed slam. Like his vision is
really freaking good, honestly. And the thing is, though, in Houston and in Brooklyn, he wouldn't pass the ball. He would always try to jack up so many 3s. This time, he's so comfortable, he doesn't do that.
Because I think he has the right team around him.
He's got that right team. He's got it. This team feels like a championship winning team.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they feel like. And I know we're like 2-3 months down the road from the playoffs, but if this team goes in the playoffs as hard as they were last night, be fucking careful.
Especially having the big 3 of Harden, Maxey, and Embiid. Oh, good luck with.
And people were saying, "Oh, there's no big 3 there." There's a big 3 there.
I mean, if you looked at the score sheet,
like on paper, yes, you got two superstars and one guy who isn't a superstar yet, and you can make a case, okay, they got a duo, not a big three. But to us, Tyrese Maxey
Is
is
a
already
star
a goddamn star. If he
because
keeps
it's.
playing the way he is, if he keeps playing the way he's playing
I
for
mean,
the
I would not be.
next decade,
I think he'd be a
he's a
multiple
star.
time All Star the
He's
way
a
he's.
star. And I feel like he should have been an all-star this year.
Mm-hmm. But hey, I mean, I think it's just going to make him going to get even better going into next year, and
Yeah.
plus, and think about this too. I mean, he like even to some past to the past, and think about what Tyrese Maxey is. He's got some great speed. Like he can beat you with with the first step. If you looked at what D'Lo just could not
No.
catch up to Tyrese Maxey.
He literally was lacking off
Like
of
the first
Tyrese
step he
Maxey
goes,
the
it's
entire
like
game.
Maxey's already by him. And look, and D'Lo is a good player.
He
But
is.
Tyrese Maxey made him look like an amateur. I was like, damn, okay.
Made him look like a goddamn chump all game.
And it's just like, and don't take him away from Harden too, from driving it up to the basket too. Like don't take that away.
This is what people love about Harden. He is very versatile. He can beat you in the paint and he can beat you out of it.
Just like, and the fact you're going to have also Embiid too could also, and the fact that they had these three guys almost drop 30. Well, Embiid is the only one that had 34, but almost had three guys almost have over at least 30 plus points that night. It's like, okay, I think we got something in the big when it comes to the big three.
I literally after that game, I got giddy. I'm like, okay, we got something here. Because this team was not this dominant midway through the season.
Absolutely not. Especially the fact that they put up 133 over the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah,
was not an easy task.
It was like 133 to 110.
Yeah.
And it
was
was
it was like 133 to 100 actually. They won by 33.
Why did I give him 10 fucking points? Okay, I read that score wrong on Google. I'm sorry. I watched like the third quarter and the fourth quarter.
Oh yeah.
But I literally was like, I read it as 133 to 110 for some reason. But yeah, it was 133 to 100. They literally got beaten by 33 points.
And at least now the and now with the upcoming games, I mean the Sixers are taking on the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. And then they got the Heat, which that's going to be a good one though. The Sixers and the Heat.
The only game that I'm not looking forward to is Sixers Knicks because that game is going to be over by half.
Pretty much because the Knicks are trash.
Oh my god, they're absolute dog shit this year. They regressed.
I also heard the Nets are playing like absolute garbage too.
The Nets can't get out of their own way with the Kyrie situation, them getting rid of Harden for Seth Curry, who's just okay in my opinion. And can I tell you something?
Shoot.
Speaking of the Nets, Seth Curry is the biggest fucking hypocrite.
I mean, you could also make the argument with Danny Green too. He also at times could be a hypocrite.
No. Danny Green fucking called Ben Simmons off his shit. Flat.
Well, yeah, but if you looked at it in the past, like he also tried to defend Ben Simmons at the same time.
Listen, he tried to, but then he got sick of his shit. That's the thing.
Yeah, true.
That's the problem. That was early in the season, like 10 games in. And there were people like, have faith, Ben will return, he will be fine.
No.
Midway through the season, everybody was sick of his shit, including Seth Curry, which is why I am calling him the biggest hypocrite. He gets traded with Ben Simmons to Brooklyn, comes out and defends the guy.
I was like, pick a side.
Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Pick a goddamn side. Like, I get he's your teammate. I get you're on a different team and you're trying to say the right thing so you don't get, fired or fined by the team and cause trouble with team chemistry. But it's Ben Simmons. The team chemistry was already fucked in Philly. It's not going to improve in Brooklyn.
And the fact that they were so desperate and they signed Goran Dragic for the rest of the season too, which I don't think
it's not going to work. Because it's not going to work. You got two head cases on one team. It's not going to work.
And I think they're going to find a way to. And I think we all know that Brooklyn has a track record of falling short, and the fact that they had with having two head cases, I think is just going to make it even much worse for them.
It's going to make the whole organization toxic, and they're not going to win a lot of games. And honestly, I hate to say it, they're going to miss the playoffs this year.
And the fact that Ben Simmons doesn't want to play, that makes it even ironic. It's like, it's just crazy to really think about. Like, we traded him away, but he doesn't want to play in Brooklyn. Or no, I'm sorry, he doesn't want to play in Philly. I took that wrong, but he doesn't want to play for Brooklyn.
And you know what pisses me off about Ben Simmons?
Shoot.
He preaches goddamn mental health over this shit.
Oh, that's yeah. I've kind of like
spare me the bullshit, Ben Simmons.
All I know, well,
I'm a big advocate for mental health, just like you are. But spare me the goddamn bullshit.
Because you don't know what a lot of other people went through, which is some of the
it wasn't a mind thing. You're just butthurt that the fans booed you out of Philly.
Because you can't take criticism.
You suck. Because you won't buck up and fix your game and get better. So you're bitching and moaning, whining and crying because you won't get your way in Philly. So then you're preaching, oh, my mental health sucks. I'm gonna sit out for half a season.
And pretty much pull a Kyrie after that too.
Pull a fucking Kyrie for half the damn season, get traded. And now it's like, oh, I'm fine now. Literally at the press conference. Oh, my mental health is fine now.
And then you have like some of these big like Mike Missinelli come out and call you out on your bullshit. What the hell? Tyrone Johnson also came out and called him out on his bullshit. Like everybody came out and called him on his bullshit.
Tyrone Johnson doesn't fuck around, dude.
No, he does not, and that's why
he does not beat around the goddamn bush. I saw him on a lot of freaking NBC Philly freaking sports shows, and he does not fuck around with this shit. He's been calling Ben Simmons out for the last 2 seasons.
And you had you got the legendary shooting coach Herb McGee actually also come and said, I'm not working with him. I don't know if everybody saw that press conference. Like, yikes! That's even you have like a legendary shooting coach not willing to help you because you're still stuck in your own ways.
You have a shooting coach not willing to help you. You have a lot of these veterans calling your ass out. Like Shaq is calling you out. Chuck is calling you out. Oh
man, Shaq, Danny Green.
Basically, Shaq called him a little bitch.
And he's right.
And he's completely right.
And the fact that he put it in a way where it was more like PG.
He put it in a nice way, but let's face it, he was calling.
He was calling him a bitch, but
we knew he was calling him a little.
But he was trying to do it. He did it in the most PG way possible.
Yeah, he was on TV at the time.
Right? Yeah, makes sense. But
literally, you had Shaq text Ben Simmons to try to help him, and Ben goes off on the guy.
It's just what?
Like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? And you're like, oh, my mental health is bad. Yeah, right.
Bullshit.
Spare me the goddamn shit.
Speaking of the Nets looking confused right now, they are losing 44-39 to the Milwaukee Bucks. Then they got back to back against the Toronto Raptors, so they're gonna be shit out of luck. Just a little update for you.
And I get that the Toronto Raptors aren't the best team like they were when they had Kawhi for that 1 year. But
they got some good players on that team.
They got some serviceable players, and they got a winning record. And they're in the 7th or 8th spot in the league, the East.
They are 7th. They're right above the Brooklyn Nets in the Eastern Conference.
They're literally 7th in the East. Like, they're not a bad team. So, if you were slouching against the Bucks, and then you slouch against the goddamn Raptors,
then we got a problem.
There's a problem. And I feel like if you can't beat the Raptors, who are just okay, they're not bad, but they're just okay right now because they don't have a star player like they did in 2019. They're gonna have issues.
Yeah,
you're not winning. You're not winning.
Nah. And let's be real. I don't think Steve Nash is not that bad of a coach by any stretch of the means, but that team is just so dysfunctional to the point where it's like, not even super glue or gorilla glue can fix that team together.
No, and I feel bad for Steve Nash because he's not a bad coach.
Dude, and he was a great player back in his day too. Like it's like
awesome player who should have had a ring, might I add, but
that's a shame. But that's a whole.
It's a shame. But yeah, Steve Nash is not a bad coach. The problem is he's got players who can't get it out of their own ass.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have Kyrie sitting out because he's bitching about a vaccine,
and especially
you have Ben Simmons, opting out because he's bitching that fans will boo him and call him out on him not improving. Let me tell you something here, Mr. Ben Simmons. You think Philly is bad?
Oh boy!
When it comes to us not taking just being okay, trying to help with your development, calling you out on bullshit that you do. New York fans are just as bad.
Oh yeah,
when it comes to that.
And they are ruthless.
They're ruthless, and I commend them for that because that's what makes being a fan. That's what makes being you a good fan.
Mm-hmm. And
that's what makes you a good fan. You appreciate the game, and you call players out, and you root for your team.
Mm-hmm.
Heavily.
And at times too, yeah. I think. I mean, you can also make like I think like for us from personal experience. I mean, we've seen. Oh God. I remember a couple times where the Nets fans actually booed their own players. Like, yeah, New York is ruthless, no matter if you're a fan of the Nets or the Knicks.
Me and Key were talking, and we were saying that Philly and New York are the same freaking type of fans.
Mm-hmm. Like
in a sense,
but we're kind of like the more blue collar, like gritty.
We're more blue collar. They're more like big city, but flashy type.
But with the passionate.
But with the passion, with the passion, they're similar enough, and I commend fans like that. I like fans like that.
So as it stands, so this is what the Eastern Conference looks like now. Obviously, with the play-in tournament and whatnot. So we got Miami, Chicago are still tied for the first seed in the East. Sixers are 2.5 games out of the first seed. Milwaukee's in the 4th seed. Cleveland 5th, Boston 6th, Toronto 7th, Brooklyn 8th, 9th is Charlotte, and 10th is Atlanta. So you got
what on earth happened to Atlanta?
Dude, Atlanta just took a whole left turn.
Literally, I feel like the only player that's been developing is Trae Young. The rest of the team just stagnated.
Bogdan doesn't look like him. I feel
Bogdan kind of like. Here's the thing. Here's the kicker. Trae Young is the only one developing. The rest of the team took a step back. And I mean literally the rest of the team.
Like literally took a huge step backwards.
Literally the whole team just regressed.
Which is
except for Trae. And I feel bad for Trae.
Because I mean that's and
Trae Young's a great player.
I mean, you like him or hate him, but I mean it's
like him or hate him, he's a good player. And for him to only be the guy I feel like the players are like disrespecting the guy by playing the way they're playing.
Because I mean, Gallinari doesn't look like himself when he comes off the bench. Bogdan
took a step back.
Collins took a step backwards.
Yep.
I think just that entire team just took a step backwards, except for Trae Young.
Everybody,
And I also had the thought too that I feel like I think that was just I feel like that last season, I feel like it was just a fluke for them. I feel like that they just got by. I thought that was like a fluke.
Everybody thought it was a fluke because we were the team to beat, and we fucked up because of Ben Simmons. It's taking it back right to Ben Simmons. If Ben Simmons played better, he would have won that series.
But unfortunately, that did not happen. But
Unfortunately, we let up in that second round, and the Atlanta Hawks got a fluke series win. And it showed that was a fluke.
Mm-hmm. And now we're seeing that, they're 3 games under 500 at 28 and 31. It's like, I mean, let's be real. I have a lot of respect for Nate McMillan and the kind of team that he had. I mean, for the fact that he was an interim coach, though, and the fact that they actually that organization has faith in him. Actually, I kind of do like him. I think he's a good coach. Just that team, what the hell?
I don't know what the hell happened to the Atlanta Hawks. I would have thought that they would win maybe at least 48 to 50 games this year. And they're not even close.
Not even close to 30. I mean, they're 2 games behind 30.
That's it. They're only 2 games behind 30. And that's not good enough, clearly. They're at 10th in the East.
And Washington's coming up right behind them, but they're 27 to 30.
Washington's coming up. And they're on a hot streak, I think.
They actually lost the game.
Oh, they lost the game. All right. But they've been playing okay. Considering.
And the fact that and I also read something that Davis Bertans even came out and said that a lot of that team was a lot of bickering because of roles, the minutes they want to play and all this shit. It's like, what the hell? He actually came out and exposed the chemistry problems that was behind closed doors with the Washington. I know it happens with every team, but none of them was bigger than the Washington Wizards because they still got Bertans. Who else was still with that? I mean, Bradley Beal's, I think, still there. I mean,
yeah, Bradley's still there. You have Boban there, I think.
No, Boban's with Dallas.
Oh, Boban's with Dallas. Okay.
Oh my God, I love good old Sixers legend Boban.
Dude, Boban, I miss that motherfucker.
The dude can dunk, he could just standing dunk on people.
Half the time he just jokefully just dumps the damn ball over the net. It was funny.
But my thing is just like, I don't know though, man. This is crazy. It's just like,
yeah.
Now, another thing that I have an issue with now, I mean, I kind of beating around the dead horses like this. It's like, obviously with CJ McCollum getting traded to New Orleans, and I think sometimes I feel like Damian Lillard is so delusional at this point.
What do you mean?
Like he thinks that the Portland could still win a championship. It's like, really?
Listen, he's talking like that because he's on the team and he's trying to make the fans happy.
It's just like
that's called team spirit, bro. It happens.
Yes, but
you're not gonna sit. If you're on a team, you're not gonna sit there and say, "Look, we're not winning a goddamn championship. We're gonna suck." You're not gonna say that.
True, but I mean, I still.
You're gonna say, "Look, we're gonna win a championship."
I think it just sounds delusional in my eyes, but I kind of get where
to a fan's eyes, yes, but it's team spirit. That's expected, and
I don't know. I mean, it's just like, I mean, it's just crazy to really think. And if Portland didn't, what was that? Was it 2018 where they were in the? When was the last time they were in the playoffs?
2018, 2019.
I think around there because they didn't.
It was 2020 because they won in the play-in.
Yeah, but the thing I see because it's like with the Portland Trailblazers, I think they got some good pieces, but the problem is he just can't stay healthy. That's just an injury.
That you got players with COVID, you got players that hurt.
I mean, you got Lillard with an abdominal injury, which that sucks to see for a potential Hall of Famer right there in Damian Lillard. I mean, he's got a lot of potential. Just a lot of good moments for that. Nurkic can't stay healthy worth a damn. It's just like that entire team is just injury riddled like Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
It's just.
It's bad, bro.
Now, my next question is, what do you think about? So I actually I think you saw this one. Joel Embiid on being on the list of the different Sixers legends when it comes to statistical categories.
We've discussed this plenty friggin' times. I don't know why you keep writing this topic down. We've discussed it for the last 3 weeks on the show. And I've said this for 2 weeks in a row. So, Rob, I'm going to need you to not write this down next week.
Yeah.
And I'm saying it again. If he keeps playing the way he's played for the next decade and a half,
there's going to be records.
This man's a legend.
Dude, I think he's going to be setting records that no one's ever going to touch, especially for a big man.
I feel like he's going to do that too.
Because Steph Curry is leaving a legacy where he's the greatest 3-point shooter of all time, and we've seen that throughout his career. And the fact that he passed Ray Allen and the great Reggie Miller on an all-time 3-point list, and I think that really did solidify his Hall of Fame career.
And the fact that early in his career, when he had those issues with his health and him, eating a lot and not being healthy, and
oh yeah,
that contributing to his leg injuries and stuff like that, for him to take our criticism
and just use it as fuel to the fire, as motivation,
use it as fuel to that fire in his game and in his health,
just like
his ability to stay healthy. The guy's great. The guy's
and
a
the fact
player.
that his comical friendship that he has with James Harden that's another thing that I'm really looking forward to, because I think
that we discussed this right before the show.
Yeah,
the presser when he was down in a bottle of freaking water, squeezing the shit out of it.
I was like,
and James Harden was like,
"What are you doing?
The fuck are you doing? Are you serious?"
just like, I think, and I think it really did show, especially in that Minnesota game. I think James Harden was the guy that I think, as much as I would like Bradley Beal, but I feel like for some reason I feel like James Harden was a better fit. I don't know what it was, but now we're actually seeing it firsthand.
I feel like he's more of like a blue collar type player.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. And the fact that he also played like his Oklahoma City Thunder self that's a dangerous player back then.
He was fucking dangerous last night. Like he couldn't have been stopped.
Him, Embiid, and Maxey couldn't be stopped.
Him, Embiid, and Maxey just went off last night.
Because
it was a 3-man power trip last night.
Because Maxey finished the game with 28 points and 4 steals. You got Embiid still doing his thing. Finished with like 34 points and I think 12 rebounds. He finished with a double-double last night. And James Harden fell short of a triple-double. It's like, damn it.
and I know that Tobias Harris played like shit last night, but here's the thing. I don't even think he'd be a factor anymore.
I don't think. Yeah. And how about Matisse scored 11 points last night? Jesus Christ.
Who?
Matisse scored 11 points last night.
Matisse has been playing well defensively though.
Yeah.
So now have his defense, have Maxey's offensive defense, Harden's that offensive defense, and
just like
Embiid's ability to get to the paint
and just
shoot mid-range shots.
If you need a 3 from him, he'll pull up for a 3 if you need to.
He's usually like, if there's an open 3, okay, sure.
He'll just take it like it's nothing. And this is what it's just like the fact that we drafted Embiid 20 in 2014. And the other thing most of us, like, we were kind of skeptical of what the kind of player he would be. But now I
was skeptical in the beginning because of his health issues. Absolutely. I'm thinking, oh shit, he's gonna be a bust, isn't he? And then like 4 years later,
we're seeing him almost back to back,
2021.
Yeah,
5 years later, ain't it?
Because he got soon be 5.
20, 21. Yeah, 4 years. 4 years later, I had to literally do math on my fingers for this. 4 years later, we are seeing this man,
almost back to back MVP.
The hell out, have an MVP season last year, have a near MVP season last year, have an MVP season this year.
And the fact that he's also leading the league in points per game over Giannis Antetokounmpo.
He's leading in points over Giannis.
And I think it's a close race it's a 3-way race between Embiid, DeMar DeRozan. I think he's really skyrocketed up the leaderboards for the MVP race, and Jokic. Those are the 3 that I saw the last time for the MVP race. I was like, oh, that's a tight neck and neck race with those 3 right there. Because I think DeMar DeRozan, you can make an argument for him. And
you can make an argument for Joker too.
I mean, Joker's always been a good. Him and Embiid I feel like transcended, revolutionized what the big man like. Not like
they're two of the best centers in the league.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
two of the best centers.
You can make them 1 or 2, or you can flip flop either or, because they're still they're the top 2.
Yeah.
I mean, Now, obviously, I know that our kind of our biggest little bit of a weak point for the Sixers is the bench, and I know that we could use like a little retinkering. Now, because obviously with the buyout market, I mean, obviously Will Cauley-Stein, not, I mean, for me, I'm a little bit 50-50 on it. I think having Paul Millsap come off the bench I actually like that, especially if you're going to have Will Cauley-Stein come as a backup 5, you can have him off the 4, which for Tobias Harris. And I think just if you can retool some spots, I think we should be fine going into the playoffs.
I feel like Korkmaz should go.
That's what I was just thinking. I was just thinking of that.
Yeah, I was thinking Korkmaz should go. Who else is on that bench?
I mean, you have Shake Milton.
Shake Milton can go too.
Isaiah Joe has been pretty good for us. So I think
Isaiah Joe's been pretty fucking good.
I think he should be our 6th man, in my honest opinion, because that 3, when he gets hot from 3, like that, has like good luck stopping him. And the fact that we get
there's no fucking way you're stopping him once he gets that 3 ball going.
I think Paul Reed, I think it's going to be a little bit of a time because I feel like he's still kind of developing. Same way with Charles Bassey, but I do think there's some good guys, right? Those 2 right there that can be good, backup big men. To help out with Embiid and stuff, or you can probably if you can still keep Millsap. I mean, you can pretty much have at least 2 or 3 good big guys, but like Millsap can bring you a little bit more off the bench. So, obviously with the 3 ball and all that. I mean, it's just like the fact we still acquired him and Harden. Shit.
Yeah, it's crazy, but the thing is, I don't think the bench would matter that much anymore because from what we've seen from one half alone, games could end in one half.
Oh, absolutely.
With Embiid, Harden, and Maxey on the floor.
That's just shit.
Like games could end right there.
Oh, definitely.
So having a poor bench doesn't matter once you have a great starting lineup that can put up so many fucking points in one game.
Shit.
Blow a team out by half.
And the fact that you had 3 guys finish almost 30 points apiece. I mean, obviously with Embiid dropping 34, which let's be real, that's kind of like another night in the office for Embiid at times.
At this point, him dropping like 30 plus is not fucking shocking.
No, that's like that's another day in the office for Embiid.
It's another fucking great game.
But the fact that James Harden and I still find it, and like you said, it's just funny that how he made 5 threes in one game and more than Ben
Simmons in one game.
Like in this entire Ben Simmons' career is like shit.
And the funny thing is, all the freaking local media outlets were fucking teasing the shit out of Ben after that.
I mean, right? I mean, you should be rightfully so.
Teasing the fucking shit out of Ben. They're like, oh, fucking channel, the sports guy for channel fucking 6. Just fucking
Jessica Versky?
Yeah, literally was like, oh, he made more threes than Ben Simmons. I'm like, yo, that's funny.
That is
it's very hilarious that you post that shit.
So, obviously, with the acquisition of James Harden, I think the Sixers can Sixers can find a way to snag that number 1 seed out of the Eastern Conference. I think it's possible.
You know what I think?
Shoot.
It's possible they make the finals this year.
You know what? I can see that.
Huge possible.
The fact that I mean, yeah, great. It's only 1 game we saw that Harden, but if they can play like this for the next 20, I think there's 23 games left in the regular season. If they can do that, good luck stopping those 3. Holy Christ.
Yeah.
And the fact, and I'll say this too. I mean, I think we said this before. I'll be honest. I think James Harden has a way better vision than Ben Simmons. I really hate to say it because this, like you said, the spacing was there.
The spacing was freaking top notch last night.
Something we have not seen in what, like 2-3 years?
Not even 2-3 years. Like way before fucking.
Oh, right. There. Oh God.
Way before the tank started rolling.
Before the process era, basically.
Before the process era.
Jeez, we're going back a ways.
Yeah, like 2011, 2012 is when they had okay spacing.
But just
and then that got blown up for a hurt guy, which made no fucking sense. Then the tanks are rolling in. Ben and Embiid come in there, and it's sloppy for like 3 years.
And then I think one of the two actually did pan out, and that was good old Mr. Joel Hans Embiid.
Joel Embiid is a dog. I'm glad we picked him.
The fact that we hit huge with him, even though like you, me, and like many other Sixers fans that we were sketchy about or skeptical about his injury. I think he was out for 2 years. I think with the same foot injury, if I'm not mistaken, at the same time.
He was out 2014, 2015. He played a little bit in 2016, but then he got hurt again. 2017, he stayed healthy.
Yeah. And then we're
2018, he got hurt again. Then 2019, he stayed healthy, but his he was like a tad bit lazy in the playoffs.
I think he was overweight at the time, if I'm not mistaken.
That was when he was overweight, and he was like a little bit lazy in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And people started ribbing into him, and in 2020, he just went the fuck off.
Yeah, he popped off.
Off after that.
And the fact that what he's done this year, I think this might be him. This might be he's doing a lot better than his first run at try to be at NBA MVP.
Yeah, he's doing honestly. He's more of an MVP this year than he was last year. And last year he was close to it.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think he's doing. This is I think one of his better years.
Oh my god, this is like his best year.
The fact that he's only averaging 29.6 points per game which leads the league in scoring. Like
I don't know how the hell this man only got like 29.6 points when he's scoring like 30 plus a night.
And there are times he'll drop 30, 40, or 50 on 50 burger on some team. Like, hey, look, I'll still take it any way I can get. And look, the fact he was probably along with the other better players that are better scorers, but the fact that he's over Giannis is, I'm not saying surprised, but I feel like those are the two, probably the most dominant. I mean, you could probably make an argument from other players that in the league that are dominant, but I don't think no one has become dominant more than Embiid and Giannis. Maybe Joker at the same time.
Joker, he can get dominant, but he's not as dominant as both Embiid and Giannis.
Yeah, and Giannis. It's just like Joker, and at times, he has his flaws, but he does make it up sometimes. I think his offense is great. I think although I think what he has over Embiid is probably way better passing. He's a better passer than Embiid.
For sure.
With score and everything else, that goes to Embiid. Embiid can. Oh
yeah, definitely.
The fact that Embiid can do it all more than Joker, even though Joker is a better passer. I mean, the fact that these two guys are probably the best big men that we've seen in the NBA the last handful of years is very entertaining to watch. Even though it's just like I feel like Denver. I think without Jamal Murray, I feel like they have a hard time kind of getting that team together without Jamal Murray. And the fact that Kevin Porter Jr. is out as well for the rest of the year, which hurts them, despite the fact he got paid big, is I don't know. That's a weird one to me.
I don't know, man. The next thing I want to talk about, and this is going to depress the shit out of you. Guess what today was supposed to be?
Oh shit.
Spring training was supposed to start today.
Oh shit. Yep.
It was supposed to start today, and sadly, I have to announce that they had another meeting again today. It did not go well.
It's just
per usual. And honestly, I'm thinking at this point, there's going to be no season.
Thank God there's always MLB The Show to stream, so at least it can fill that empty void.
I literally play that shit all the fucking time to get my fucking baseball fix.
Or we can always wait till the KBO at 5 o'clock in the morning every time.
I don't even have ESPN, so I can't even watch that.
But at this point, I just kind of feel like, and like you said too, I mean, I kind of get behind this too. Like you can play the blame on both sides actually, because
I mean, because they're both fighting for money. You have Manfred who doesn't want to give him money, and then you have players. The wanting to get money, and it's like, dude, you're getting paid millions.
Exactly. And it's just like,
Like, I wish I had your salary.
I mean, I think anybody would. But well, I'll do give Manfred credit this and both sides. The fact that they both agreed on the universal DH, I'll give him a little bit of props, a little positive props to that. But to that, yikes! As I literally, you could not just like tossed out the extra. And I think I think you and I we talked this a handful of times. The extra inning rule. Why the hell did you not get rid of that instead? God damn it! That's what another that annoys
I don't
me.
fucking know why we wouldn't get rid of that. Hopefully they got rid of it this year.
I really hope
that
so.
was discussed. But
Because
the thing is, this is all for money, and it's bullshit, and it's like hurting the game, in my opinion.
And yeah, and I think too, if you looked at it too, the MLB is the only sports league that does not have a salary cap. The NFL does, the NBA, the NHL, even though their players get paid like crap, and they don't complain. I don't know about
honestly, put a salary cap on them. Like shut
exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
Paid millions of dollars. Play ball.
The fact that you're seeing like these other teams, like these big market teams, like the Dodgers, for example, spend a shit ton of money. Like when's enough enough?
Like what do you expect though? $500 million contract?
And speaking of that, it also kind of ties into when I made that video about Juan Soto. And I don't think he's really worth that much. But I think he should be at least a little bit over 350, at least 350 in my honest opinion, because it's like the fact that he turned that down, and it's just that's something really something I'm keeping an eye on.
But here's the thing, like players are wanting like $500-600 million, and
And my buddy also huge shout out to Jake the Snake Silva. He actually brought up a good point on the show that some of these younger players are spoiled as fucking hell.
They are. They're all spoiled.
And you're looking at these veterans, like they don't even care.
No one gives a damn.
Like
on the veteran side. Oh, they'll gladly take a pay cut for helping a team.
Take a look what we paid for Harper, 13 for 330. Raffle almost averages to almost 30 million a year, and he's not complaining. And he has put up some great seasons with us. It's just like
you have these guys wanting $500 million,
like Juan Soto
it's just.
But I feel like there's two players that I thought they actually did a smart thing, and that was Acuna and Ozzy Albies. They got long-term deals, but on a shorter value, which I think that for me, I thought that was very smart in my honest opinion.
That's what Philly did with Harper. Long-term deal, shorter value.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what worked for him. And these players need to realize you can do that and get a lot of money.
Oh yeah,
you can play for one team for 10 plus years, get like 300 million, and that like averages out to like a lot of fucking money.
I mean, take a look at Mike Trout, for example. Look how hard he's worked for that contract, that 400 plus contract extension.
Yep.
Like that shit does. You need to work for that. Like that should not be given to you. Like you got to earn that shit.
Yeah, it's probably players like that are like batting like 150 or some shit. Oh, I want $500 million. You didn't even work for it.
I mean, there's a very few in terms of kind of talent, and I'll say this too. I mean, I do see why sometimes the Players Association want to increase the minimum salary, because if you look at these rookies nowadays, like obviously Wander Franco, almost solidified himself. Got a long-term extension for almost 200 million as a rookie, where like Judge is getting paid $630,000 when he came up in 2017. So it's like, I don't know, like I'm blown away by that. It's just like and
all I gotta say about this whole ordeal, it needs to get resolved
ASAP,
fast, because fans are starting to lose interest. No one's caring about it anymore, and it's
really growing tiresome.
It's really growing. Yeah, for real, it's growing tiresome, and it's getting annoying, and people are pissed off.
And I mean, rightfully so. I mean, and take a think of for me, it's like if someone offer me, let's say, a 5-year for, I don't know, say 65 million, I'm taking that. You know, like because I
Hell,
would not, I would not.
for me. It'd be like a 5-year, $1 million, and I'll take it.
Yeah, that. Don't even ask me to do the math on that.
I'm not going to even do that because that's
Because
why
math
I
is not
said.
my strong subject.
That's why I said when I explained the Harper thing, I'm like, 300 million for 10 years. That averages out to about a lot of money because I can't
About
do
28
that.
and a half last from what I've saw or checked.
Yeah, I think it was 28. I think it was like 20 and a half each year.
Almost 29 million a year, which that's just I but yeah, obviously with the now I want to ask you that I don't know if I ever asked you this, like obviously with Howie his final year of the contract, would you still keep him in the organization? Not as a GM, but as like a financial guy to restructure contracts. Because I'll give Howie this though: the fact that he can work his matchup with money is impressive.
Right now, I'm not sure because he had just signed a linebacker that
Yeah, but
has been on the practice squad
yeah, defensive tackle
for the or defensive tackle
from the Bengals. Yeah,
for the Bengals that was on the practice squad. Or no, he was hurt half the fucking time.
but he has played some games in 2019 as a rookie.
But he had like one sack or something, or one tackle or whatever.
This is why I feel like players like that. That's when the XFL comes into play. That's why I think.
I feel like that's what it is. But the problem is he signed him as a starter.
Oh shit!
Because you have Cox retiring.
I can get behind that, but
like I can get behind it too if you didn't get a shit player.
Yeah, or at least try to snatch one in the draft that's be ready to start ASAP.
Yeah, get a guy in the draft. Don't get a guy who couldn't even prove himself in Cincinnati.
And that's the reason why I think this is why I was talking. Like there's a couple prospects on my list when it comes to like the defensive tackle, or like, and plus two, we could also use another edge rusher to help out Josh Sweat on the outside. I mean, George Karlaftis is the one guy that comes to mind. There's a couple others I'm drawing a blank on. But when it comes to linebackers, there's two, maybe possibly three or four that I'm looking at, especially one in the second round. Armour Davis from Alabama as the one guy I'm really looking at. I think he has potential. I think he's like a mid-second rounder the way where he's projected to be. Obviously with Devin Lloyd and Nakobe Dean, probably the biggest ones out there. I think another guy I think is really coming up on the draft stock is Christian Harris. Those are kind of my three that I would like to hopefully at least take one, because if we take one or the other, I would not be too upset about that. If we can grab something like another center or at least another guard, maybe offensive line, kind of help out a little bit, but then also go. But then again, maybe we can get that in like later rounds. But for me, I think go all defense in this draft because I think that's kind of like a somewhat of a weak spot in some areas. Definitely
our weakest spot on the defensive side of the ball
is linebacker.
That's all we really need to worry about on that defensive side of the ball is linebacker. Defensive tackle is fine until Cox retires. But we need linebackers. Cornerbacks are fine.
And you got to lock up Slade too, because you do not want him to walk.
Gotta lock him.
No, you can't.
Fast.
That would be a big mistake. But I don't think Howie's going to let that happen. There's no way in hell.
No, he won't, because he's got too much cap. The only way he would be forced to get rid of good players is when the cap is shit. That's what happened in 2017. They overspent with the cap, and they had to get rid of players.
And look what's going on with the Rams. They're almost $20 million over the cap.
Oh, they're going to get rid of players.
Yeah, and I think one guy, and like I said too, I know this is a bit of a stretch. It's like if we can get Von Miller at the right price, I think he's not a bad veteran linebacker to pick up if you need to on a cheap deal. Because think about it, 2-time Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, still 32 and entering, still in the prime of his career. And like Chris Shula said, the fact if he could beat his rushes, he's going to be a hard man to stop. So I think, that would be interesting. That would be very interesting. But for me, I mean, it's going to be very interesting to really look at it for the Eagles going into next year. But I guess I got a lot. I'm excited.
I'm excited too to see where this goes. I'm not sure how they'll do next year. Um, in a way, I'm feeling like this year was kind of a fluke, but kind of not same time.
For me, I don't think it was a fluke. I think it was just hard fought, or just battle way your way back from after that. Let's be real. That shitty 2-5 start where everybody was just kind of flipping out, said, "Oh, this team." But the fact that they still made the playoffs in
Yeah,
Sirianni's first,
but here's the thing, though. They ramped up the running game. The thing is, we have no passing game because Hurts is kind of like hit and miss sometimes. Um, but if he can develop, then it won't be a fluke. If he doesn't develop, then oof.
because I mentioned like some key areas I think he should improve on. I think he's got a good deep ball, but he's got to be more accurate with it and read his progressions. That's what I meant. That's what I kind of talked about in the video. Where if he can improve those, I think he
Right.
should. I think he'd be a top 10, top 15 quarterback, easy, maybe top 20. If I'm just being fair. Well, for right now, I mean, I know he has the work ethic to do so, and I mean, I'm pretty sure he's probably doing it as we. But then again, he did have ankle surgery, which kind of going to hold him out a little bit. But once he heals up, I have a feeling he's going to get back on the football field and work on that. Because I don't think someone like Hurts' work ethic can be. I don't think he's going to be. I don't think he's not that lazy type of player. That's like, I think he wants to improve more, especially after this is his first full season under center.
Yeah, and he said it a few times, in press conferences when he misses throws. He's like, "Look, I missed that throw. I didn't see him downfield. I didn't do this right. I didn't do this right." He takes accountability.
Unlike it, well, that's a whole nother
And
story.
I'm happy about that. He takes accountability, and he's and opposed to that last quarterback that we had,
that's a whole nother.
He refused to take accountability at every
and we saw
mistake that he made. We saw that, and that's why we got rid of the motherfucker. But
thank you for the first round pick, though.
thank you for the first round pick.
But
which ended up being Devontae Smith.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. God.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dallas. I really hate to say that. I swear to God, like I literally cannot fathom the fact that we traded with Dallas to piss off Giants fans, which is, let's be real, that's funny to see.
We fucking tag team as rivals to piss off Giants fans.
Absolutely. But hey, look, we got our guy. They got theirs, who, like I said before, is the defensive player of the year, which I'm not surprised that he's the defensive player of the year. The fact that how he balled out, him and TJ Watt, let's be real, probably the best defensive players out there.
Yeah.
And the fact with Mark, and I always I think, because when I looked at Michael Parsons from his time in Penn State, it's like, this dude's going to be a top 5 pick. But the fact that he was in like the top 10, top 15, and the fact that we traded, oh, jeez. It's just so crazy to this day how much that trade impacted both teams. But more so than
the thing is, I kind of think of it as a win-win situation, but it was also a win-lose situation because we needed a linebacker.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we could have gotten Micah Parsons on the team.
But it's like you had like probably the best.
Smith.
It's like, would you rather take the best linebacker prospect, or would you take a best wide receiver? It's like, like it was tough. It
was really tough. It was really tough, and I was happy with that. I would have been happy either way if we got Micah Parsons or if we got.
I would not. But the fact, and Giants get stuck with Kadarius Toney, who has not done jack shit. Neither, and this is too, which is what I find really funny, because I think Mitch talked about this too on the Late Show once, or we talked behind the scene, I talked to a few Giants fans. It's like, as soon as after that Bo picture was taken, that's when that shit went to hell.
That's the curse. That's that cursed picture, brother. Ever since that picture was taken back in 2015, they've been cursed.
I was like, shit. But I mean, I think we pretty much got everything out for tonight. But
and other thing about that picture too. One other thing.
Oh, I know where you're going with this one.
Literally the day after that picture was taken, he had to play in a playoff game. They got absolutely obliterated, thus starting the curse.
Mm-hmm. And one of the players in that picture is a Super Bowl champion. Finally. Oh shit! That's another question I forgot to pose. Do you believe Matthew Stafford, with the career he's had, do you think he's a Hall of Famer? I think he is.
You asked this last week.
Oh, I did. Oh, I forgot.
You did. I said he was a Hall of Famer. I think.
I mean, because I feel like the numbers show it, and the fact that he won his first Super Bowl, the fact that the career that he had, yeah, I mean, it was a good career, even though with playing with a shit team. I mean, you had one good player. I mean, that was Megatron, and the fact that when he retired in 2016, it's just like everything just went downhill not for Stafford's career, but for the team. But Stafford still put up some great numbers.
Yeah, they had that one good year back in like 2016.
I think so, because this is what after because I think they had some good years. Because this one, I think it was like either 2013 or 2014 when they still had Jim Caldwell.
It was 2014 because I think they went like 11-5 that year.
Yeah, and after that, and they fired Jim Caldwell, which let's be real.
Oh no, they went 9-7. They went 9.
Yeah, went 9-7.
And then they fired Jim Caldwell, which was a fucking mistake.
That was a head scratcher. It's like, what are you doing? And another thing,
the thing is, they get rid of Jim Caldwell. They hire this fucking bum from New England,
Matt Patricia, who is
Matt Patricia,
unaccountable as hell.
Oh my god, he gives fucking, and he's also talking to his goddamn players.
Oh, that's even worse. And also, for those who did not see the other news, that Matt Nagy is going back to Kansas City as their quarterbacks coach. Is like, oh shit.
Why?
Yeah, exactly. And Gooley said condolences to Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes is going to throw a lot of fucking picks.
Oh boy,
there goes his career.
I was like, oh,
there goes his career right there, man.
Yeah, but that's some news for those who didn't pick up on it. But with that out of the way, Ty, you got any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
I know I don't want to get
Mm-hmm.
depressed and everything and stuff like that about the situation, but the world sucks this year. This is where the world sucks.
Oh yeah.
But whatever's going on over there, pray for Ukraine.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Pray for those people over there. We're thinking about you guys over there. If we got Ukraine viewers, we're praying for you guys. We love you guys. And to the Russian citizens, we know it's not you.
Yeah, but
we're praying for everybody. So,
but with that being said, if you guys like what you saw, make sure you smash that like button, hit the subscribe button on both channels. With that out of the way, this is Robert and Tyler from the Philly Sports Talk Podcast. We will see you guys next week.